Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. It's been a little bit since we've checked out something new from Remette. Whatever this is, I'll link it right down in the description so that you guys can check it out if you want to. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and to Remette for sending this in. Let's go ahead and find out what the heck we've got here. Usually, yeah, I have no idea. They print everything but the name of the knife on the outside of the knife. So, alrighty then. We have something titanium with a little bit of laser work on the pivot there. Is this like a, let's take a closer look at the finish on the handle here. Is this a little bit of orange peel texturing? Yes, it is. Or eggshell. I'm sorry, I always say those wrong. This is an eggshell texturing on titanium. And then we have what appears to be something other than tumbled or satin on the blade. Yeah, a little bit of probably glass blasting on the blade here. So, simple overall aesthetic. Titanium frame lock. A little bit tight, not gritty. Just tight, you know, the type of action that you expect to kind of loosen up over time, or you could adjust out, or you could add a drop of 10-weight nano oil inside the pivot. Not a whole lot going on here, honestly. Just kind of a straightforward sheep's foot titanium frame lock. I'm looking for any additional elements here. They have Remette on the pocket clip, which I guess is better than putting it on the blade. I will say, you know, I'm kind of dogging on this thing for being plain Jane, but I do like this new. There's a lot of companies that are doing this right now, and everybody seems to have a little bit of a different, you know, version of it. I do like this glass blasting. It's definitely better than a typical bead blast, right? Think CRK M16 or Gerber paraframe like that, just kind of like blasted nothing gray or like fireplace gray look, you know, ash gray, I guess. I like the subtle reflectivity of it, and this type of finish will still look good after a long period of time. Is there any indication of what steel this is? I'm going to guess it's M390. There's a chance that it's S90V. Probably not. Why would they not put it? Did they really not put the blade steel anywhere? Oh. Can we see? There it is right there, M390. So, in previous models, people have pointed out, in like models from a while back in Remette, people have pointed out your heat treat is not super excellent. Recently, they had, you know, shown that they had increased the hardness, at least on their website. Now, my brain gets a little foggy on what people like love them knives. You don't know. We have people in the community who can test these blade steels. So every now and then I get somebody who's either new to the knife world or somebody who's been gone for a long time and come back. And with a lot of these Chinese companies, you know, a decade ago, you would be right in questioning, is it really M390, right? This company that's like either very, very new or totally unknown is printing M390 on their blades. Can we actually trust them? And back then, the answer was, a lot of the time, no. A lot of the time, it wasn't the case. These newer companies have figured out, you know, hey, there are people within this knife enthusiast community. It's now like widespread information if somebody tries to fake the composition. Pretty much everybody will know right away, and that company will get blacklisted, or at least partially blacklisted. Thanks to, specifically, people like Love Them Knives, Transparent Knives, and you know, Laren Thomas, you know, for example, is a great person, you know, a great asset to the community, sort of digging in a little deeper to steels like AR RPM 9 and others, and giving us a little bit more information there. My point is, why are you telling us this? My point is that now it's not so much is the composition what they're saying it is. There are still some incredibly stupid companies out there trying to fake the composition. I don't know why that's still a strategy. But most of the ones that have a goal of becoming reputable and becoming, you know, a brand that's known for making quality tools, they're using the real thing. They're actually buying, in this case, it'd be M390 from Bowler, right? What a lot of companies are not getting right is the appropriate, I use heavy quotes there because that's a little bit subjective, right? But appropriate hardness. There are companies out there who think 58 to 60 is completely and totally okay for M390. you and I, when I say you and I mean you, the viewing audience, and myself, we know that that is a straight up poo-poo town. And if you are brand new, that is not an okay hardness for this geometry of M390 on a pocket knife. Ideally, for, you know, industry standard, right? We generally like to see 60 to 62. A lot of people will just sort of begrudgingly choke down 59 to 61, right? That's for M390 specifically. Now, Remette, I believe, has bumped at least their on paper numbers up to 60 to 62. I cannot remember if Love Them Knives or Transparent Knives or anybody has done recent Rockwell hardness testing on newer Remette M390. I would love to find out that they are consistently within that range with only a few anomalies outside. So that's essentially what I'm saying there. That would be really nice to see because that's what the community expects. That's what we want, right? At this geometry, most people are not trying to pound their, you know, thin M390 blades through a block of wood. I mean, you have some cave people out there still trying to do that. I don't know what they're trying to prove, but most people are not buying knives like this to do that, right? Which means the the bump up in hardness is justified because the people who are buying these things and using them the way that they're supposed to be used, which is for slicing, cutting, or continuous slicing and cutting over long periods of time, in terms of like what you're processing or materials that are substantially softer than the blade itself, right? That's what you want to use it for. So I don't know. I would like to find that out. So I guess many of you in the comments generally report on this when I unbox this stuff, which is a benefit of doing an unboxing first and not a review first. The review of this knife will come later. Ergonomically, it's all right. Something that I really don't like with a lot of pocket knife designs is being trapped within certain parameters, especially on a small knife. So when the back end is not open and you have this little hook here, it makes me feel incredibly confined with these first three fingers. The pinky is left to kind of slide off the edge, kind of, right? Now, leaving this open wouldn't necessarily change the fact that my pinky starting to slide off the edge. That's more of a, handle size versus hand size kind of thing. So that's going to be different for some people. But I don't like being trapped in here. But it's okay, right? There's kind of a 90-degree ledge right here, so it's not sharp. It's just like drop off, right? We have a filler tab. It looks like probably a hidden screw situation. How does this come out? Oh, no. What is this? What is this? Why is there a needle inside of the handle? Why? Bizarre. Okay. Well, I'll have some type of edit for you guys. Let's take a look there. What is this? Why is there, what is the needle? Is it supposed to be like a leather punch or is this supposed to be a toothpick? Wow. Really if this is a toothpick, this is aggressive, man. Good Lord. This is a small, this is like a small weapon. Okay, interesting. If you're going to do a secondary tool here, I don't mind the idea of there being a filler tab located, because it takes a decent amount of force. I'll give you guys an example. That's about the force required to get that out of there. I don't mind the idea of small tools being back here. You definitely need a substantial grip zone. So like something like a small flathead, like a teeny tiny flathead, something that you might repair, eyeglasses with, something like that. That might not be so big of a deal if you have a little tiny grip zone, but something, if you're going to do a flathead or Phillips head or something like that, you'd have to have enough of a grip. A little tiny pry bar, same kind of thing. Tweezers, I think, are okay. A lot of people point out, unless they are specifically like the slanted style tweezers. I've had people in my comment section talk a lot about how much they hate Victorinox tweezers because they're essentially useless. The idea of putting a tool there is interesting. Truthfully, I think this is kind of useless, if that's what this is. I mean, we'll find out. Who knows? But really, it should just be a mounting position for the pocket clip on the other side. Better yet, a milled slot in the back of the titanium so that this can wrap around and go in That way the only thing that you're seeing is the screw hole required to keep it in place. Weird knife. Weird. But, okay. Well, we'll find out more about it. Anything that I've questioned in this, feel free to fill me in the comments, and ultimately we'll include everything in the final review. That's going to be it for today, guys. This knife will be listed along with all of the details in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.